Hi, this is your benefit buddy. Today isn't just another July. It's the day a massive, historic bill reshapes your finances, your retirement, and your future. Whether you're a worker, a retiree, a parent, student, or just trying to stay afloat, this is the most important update you'll hear all year. A sweeping new law has just been passed by both chambers of Congress, and today it gets signed into law. It's being called the Big Beautiful Bill. But what's really inside this 900-page document, and how will it change your life starting now? Let's break it all down simply, honestly, and without spin. Taxes. Major changes for workers and families for millions of workers. There's some good news. Overtime, pay, and tip income will now be tax-free at the federal level of certain limit. If you earn less than $150,000 a year, you'll qualify for this benefit. That's more money in your pocket, especially for service industry workers and people clocking extra hours. On top of that, the Trump-era tax cuts from 2017, originally set to expire this year, are now extended through 2028. That means most Americans will continue paying lower rates on income, capital gains, and business profits for now. But beware, these changes are expensive, and they come with trade-offs, especially for government-funded programs. Auto loan deduction. A new break for car buyers if you're buying a new vehicle. There's a new deduction for interest on car loans up to $10,000 a year. But there's a catch. The car must be assembled in the U.S., even if parts come from abroad. As long as the final assembly takes place in America, it qualifies. However, most people will only save around $400, $500 a year, according to economists. It's helpful, but not life-changing. Student loans. Less debt, more limits. While this new cap could limit education options for some, it's aimed at preventing unsustainable debt levels and skyrocketing tuition. This bill doesn't cancel student debt. Instead, it puts strict borrowing caps in place to slow the explosion of educational debt. Grad students, capped at $100,000. Med and law students, capped at $200,000. This replaces the old Graduate Plus loan system, which had no borrowing limits as long as the school signed off. Child tax credit. A small bump with a catch starting next year. The child tax credit increases from $2,000 to $2,200 per child, and beginning in 2026, it will adjust for inflation automatically. But not every family will see the full benefit. If you don't meet a certain income threshold, you'll get less or possibly nothing. Over 17 million children are expected to miss out due to low household earnings. Medicaid. $800 billion in cuts. This is the most controversial part of the bill. Over the next 10 years, Medicaid will be cut by $800 billion. That's not a typo. What does this mean for you or your loved ones? Adults without children must work at least 80 hours a month to stay eligible. Proof of income and residency must be submitted twice a year instead of once. Miss a deadline, and you could lose your health care even by mistake. The official reason? Reduce spending and incentivize work? But estimates show up to 12 million Americans could lose coverage, especially seniors, part-timers, and low-income adults. But either way, over 40 million Americans rely on SNAP, and even small changes here ripple across the entire economy. SNAP benefits, more rules, less flexibility. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is also changing. Benefits will adjust more slowly for inflation, reducing purchasing power. Adults 18 to 55 without kids will need to work at least 80 hours per month to qualify. Critics say millions could lose access to food assistance. Supporters argue this will promote work and personal responsibility. Energy shift from green to traditional sources. The bill slashes funding for green energy programs and boosts oil, gas, and nuclear power. The idea? Lower utility bills over time by increasing U.S. energy production. But this means fewer tax credits for solar panels and energy-efficient home upgrades. States may now charge you extra fees if your energy use crosses a monthly limit. Stealth tax that could hit a C-heavy households hard. Retirement. The end of the Backdoor Roth. If you use the Backdoor Roth IRA strategy to build tax-free wealth on borrowed time, starting in 2026, that loophole is gone. No more after-tax IRA conversions. No more mega backdoor Roths. Instead, the bill introduces a new retirement option. It's a bold move to anchor Americans to the domestic market, but critics worry about eliminating diversification options. TRSA, the Trump Retirement and Savings Account, this new account aims to replace the Roth IRA over time. No income limits contribute up to $5,000 a year in after-tax. Income newborns between 202-52028 get a $1,000 bonus at birth. Funds must be invested in U.S. stock market index funds. If invested early, that $1,000 at birth could become $148,000 by age 65. Who benefits the most? The wealthy. According to the Tax Policy Center, households earning $1 million plus per year will see a 3% boost in after-tax income, roughly $75,000 per year in savings. Will benefit from a higher SALT deduction cap, more flexible, charitable deductions, estate tax adjustments. Middle-income earners will also see some relief. They can now claim $2,000 in charitable deductions without itemizing. The price tag, $3.30 trillion in new debt. Here's the elephant in the room. This bill will add over $3 trillion to the national deficit over the next decade, and most of it borrowed money. In a high-interest environment, that means one thing: more asset inflation. If you don't own property, investments, or hard assets, you may fall further behind as prices rise and wealth concentrates at the top. This could also be a quiet setup for explosive growth in things like Bitcoin, gold, and real estate assets that tend to soar in inflation-heavy cycles. Final thoughts. This isn't just tax reform. It's a full restructuring of how the American government wants you to earn, save, and spend money. It's complex, it's controversial, and it will shape your wallet for years to come. So if you found this breakdown helpful, subscribe to your Benefit Buddy right now, because next week we're going even deeper into how to protect your Social Security, avoid healthcare penalties, and invest smarter under this new law. Smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and stay informed. You've got the knowledge now. Let's put it to work.